Coming up on Fulton today, a growing and dangerous prank known as swatting is putting communities and law enforcement at risk. We'll tell you how police are dealing with it. And safety officials test their response to a simulated gas leak in the same area of a main gas line in the county. Fulton Today is next.
From the Government Center in downtown Atlanta, you're watching Fulton Today with Shania Chavis.
Welcome to Fulton Today, everybody. I'm Shania Chavis. We begin with a nationwide trend that is both dangerous and costly, and now it's having an impact right here in Fulton County. It's called swatting, and it's causing concern with both local police and the FBI. Now, it's a prank designed to mobilize local police and SWAT teams to a fake emergency. Now, Fulton Police Special Ops Commander Captain William Yates is here now to explain all of this. Sir, welcome to Fulton Today.
Hi, Shania. Thanks for having me.
Now, I mentioned that this is becoming a nationwide trend. Let's talk about what could be the motivation behind these pranks.
It's hard to say exactly what the motivation would be like any crime, but my best guess would be that they're just trying to disrupt police services. Whether it be to actually cause a problem within the county or whether it be just a prankster wreaking havoc on a police department.
And Captain, can you talk about the danger to not only police but to citizens?
Well, the biggest danger is to the citizens. The fact that all of the assets are tied up at a single location, which is not even a legitimate call. It's not just police assets, it's also fire assets that were tied up in our particular swatting incident. Taking away those assets from the public is the biggest danger. Some of the secondary dangers are obviously the police officers and the firemen are responding to those scenes in emergency mode with blue lights and sirens, which is very dangerous to do. And also, these people are suiting up and preparing for what they believe to be a shooting incident. All of that's dangerous to the police, but again, most importantly, it's dangerous to our community.
And talk now about how these pranks can be costly in terms of how much it costs to mobilize SWAT teams.
The cost is hard to put an exact number on. Not only are we rolling pieces of equipment out there which use gas, but generally speaking, SWAT call-outs are overtime because our SWAT officers work a 40-hour week to begin with. Then they get called out to a scene, which is overtime, time and a half. We generally start the entire SWAT team on every call out, which is 20 people. And then you've got fire department that's bringing usually several pieces of equipment, 6, 7 fire operators, as well as tactical medics. So you're talking about calling out 35 additional employees at overtime wages. It adds up pretty quick.
And of course, we've got to know the consequences.
Making these types of prank calls is considered a felony, and that carries a sentence of at least 1 year in prison. I can't say exactly how many years they would get. That's up to a judge, but we would certainly charge them with that felony.
And Captain, give me your final thoughts.
I believe that most people think that they can get away with the swatting because they're using voice over IP lines through the internet, and they think that somehow we can't track that, but we can. We use court orders and we get server logs, and we are ultimately able to trace that back to the computer where the call was made. And we actively investigate those types of cases, and we will prosecute to the fullest extent of the law.
All right, Special Ops Commander Captain William Yates, thank you so much for the information. Keep us posted.
Thanks for having me.
More Fulton facts now on this story. Swatting calls can cost you a stiff fine and possible jail time. And of course, for real emergencies, you can always call 911. Meanwhile, county emergency response teams take part in a training exercise with real dangerous consequences, a gas leak. FGTV's Tiffany Harlow has the story.
At first glance, the scene off of Buffington Road in South Fulton looks like a real emergency. But what was really happening at the office park was just a drill.
Have you checked down there yet? Not yet.
Fulton police and fire personnel joined Atlanta Gaslight for an exercise that started with a construction truck accidentally rupturing a gas line near this place of business.
Well, our job is to direct traffic away from the emergency, assist with the evacuation, and provide whatever services the fire department or Atlanta Natural Gas would need from us.
And we come out and basically do what we have to do as a function of the fire department, which is block off the streets, verify that nobody's in the building. If they are in the building, make sure they stay in the building. Also set up our lines just in case that we may have to do a rescue of one of the personnel out here working on that line.
The Atlanta Gaslight team worked to shut off the gas and notified the nearly 500 people impacted while the pipe was being repaired, a process they typically follow when a real gas line ruptures.
Gas main breaks do happen quite often, unfortunately. They are anywhere from a service line feeding a house to a major line like you saw today.
While emergency workers conducted this drill to practice its readiness and communication tactics with all agencies, they offered this important advice to the public in the event of a gas leak.
Call the gas company, dial 911, don't turn any switches on or off, leave them as be. If it's inside your house, come outside, wait till we get on the scene.
Planting flower beds, planting a bush, putting a mailbox in. They don't realize there's gas lines, there's not only gas lines, there's other utilities within the ground that they can call 811. It's a free service. They'll notify all of our utility companies within the area. They'll come out and put paint on the ground to let a customer know that there is a gas line, there's a phone line, a power line, any type of utility in the ground that they can be aware of before they plant.
Great advice. Now again, whether you're in a suburban area or in the heart of the city, remember to call 911 first if you smell what you think may be gas. Emergency personnel say it only takes seconds for a small gas leak to turn into a huge explosion. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Tiffany Harlow.
All right, thank you very much. Citizens get important information on another serious issue, unhealthy living. The Fulton DeKalb Hospital Authority hosted a community health forum at the Government Center. The forum included health screenings and listening sessions on preventative care.
It's important for us to do outreach. It's important for us to do prevention. And for those of us in the Grady Memorial Hospital and the health system, we want to have people coming to our hospital not always in emergency mode. We want them to come and know they're going to get the very best treatment. But if we can stem the tide and get people early, we're going to save more lives. We're going to help families to be happier. And more important, we'll have much healthier communities.
Cardiovascular disease is the leading cause of death in the county for both men and women, and the state holds the record for the second highest number of obese children in the nation. The forum also included cooking demonstrations.
The healthy food demonstrations were great. Learned some new recipes I can go home and try this evening.
And exercise sessions from the dance guru Step Stewart from the Dr. Oz Show.
Just move a little bit. It will give your cardio a good workout. It will give your heart, your body, everything, your mind especially. And you don't even feel like you're working out when you're dancing.
The Fulton DeKalb Hospital Authority oversees the Grady Health System. The board is made up of appointed members by the Fulton and DeKalb Boards of Commissioners. We'll hear from Chairman Eves on the forum in our district-by-district coverage. With the July 31st primary less than a month away, now is a good time to locate your polling place and review the sample ballot. Early voting starts next week, and the Registration and Elections Department hopes you will take advantage of the convenient and time-saving ways to cast your ballot.
There are 3 ways to vote. You can vote by mail, you can vote in person early, or you can vote on Election Day. Voting by mail is probably the easiest way to vote.
The county is also offering Saturday voting on July 21st from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Government Center downtown and at the North and South Fulton Service Centers. Now remember, you must have one of 6 forms of valid ID for an in-person and absentee voting. If you have questions about your voting locations, you can use the new GIS polling locator online. For questions about ID requirements, call the County Registration and Elections Department or go to the Secretary of State's website. Well, it was lights, camera, and plenty of media action for the final week of class for the Fulton County Citizens University students. After getting an overview of the services in the Office of Communications and the Office of Broadcast and Cable, the students broke up into 2 groups to plan a press conference and a mock newscast on FGTV. The students served in every role, from public information officers to TV anchor and reporter. The group had to successfully handle a media crisis and then report the story when protesters showed up to debate the Sunday sales alcohol referendum, with students pretending to be county leaders.
We also have other officials here that will be presenting.
We got a chance to see the whole behind-the-scenes view of what you do here in communications, from written communication to the TV production, and it was great.
The experience today has been great. I'm an avid watcher of FGTV. In fact, I've been watching it for as many years as it's been on. However, today was a different experience that I saw everything from the beginning to the end, all of the chaos, but chaos turned into a perfect production of what goes on for the public to see.
Next week, we'll show you the graduation ceremonies for the group. The Fulton County Citizens University program is offered once a year to show residents just how their tax dollars are being spent. To get information about the class for 2013, contact Ethel Cobb at 404-612-8308. And still to come, a couple of Midtown businesses benefit from the White House administration's job creation program. We'll have details and more in our district by district coverage next.
You're watching Fulton Today.
North Fulton citizens discuss property values with the county's chief appraiser, and South Fulton youngsters learn about conservation during summer camp. Here's this week's district by district coverage.
We began with District 1 Commissioner John Eves' impassioned comments regarding the future of health care in the county. As we shared earlier in the show, the Fulton DeKalb Hospital Authority hosted a 6.5-hour health forum at the Government Center in downtown Atlanta. The chairman represented the county during some of the discussion.
Well, one of our mandates as a county government is to provide health care to the citizens of our county, and we think we're doing a good job in terms of providing the service, providing access to our citizens, but there's always room for improvement. And we are concerned that there still are disparities of health by race, class, geographical location within our county, and so we have to do all that we can to improve our services, to address the disparities, and in making health care more accessible to our citizens, we can address that issue and make our community more health conscious and more healthy than it is right now.
Residents who attended the forum heard about some of the preventive health services available and the Affordable Care Act. This was the third and final health forum hosted by the Fulton DeKalb Hospital Authority since December. District 3 Commissioner Liz Hausman welcomes Fulton County Chief Appraiser David Fitzgibbon to a community meeting to address concerns about increases in property taxes in North Fulton. Over 300 county assessment notices were mailed to all county property owners in May.
Well, the assessments have been rising and the market's depressed, and trying to figure out why there's an increase when we can't sell the house for that price.
Some citizens believe that their homes were assessed too high, which causes an increase in property taxes.
Most of all, we wanted them to understand that we want to help them, that we don't have any incentive to have the value higher than it should be or lower than it should be. We just wanted to get information out to try to communicate with the taxpayers what we're about, show them how easy it was to file an appeal on our level, and answer questions about the process that they may have.
Now, if you have questions about your assessment notice or want to file an appeal, call 404-612-6440. District 5 seniors received their official ribbons for taking top honors in this year's Summer Special Olympics at the Darnell Senior Multipurpose Facility. Each of the participants awarded played in one of the activities, including bingo, cycling, and ring toss, just to name a few.
We won the horseshoe in competition with the other center that we were playing against. It was a hard game, but we won.
And I enjoyed it, and it was good to know that everybody who participated in this thing, they really did it from their heart.
We were very pleased to see Special Olympics continue as one of the major programs of the Department of Aging. I believe that it simply demonstrates why for the second or third year the area of Atlanta and Fulton County has been identified in a national poll as one of the most desirable places for seniors to live.
The Summer Special Olympics are just one of the many events at the Darnell Center aimed at keeping the seniors active and engaged. District 6 Commissioner Joan Garner teams up with the Small Business Administration for a tour of Midtown businesses. Commissioner Garner and the SBA Administrator Karen Mills visit 2 businesses that benefit from the President's Tax Credit for New Hires initiative.
We're here at the New York Butcher Shop, which is located in the District 6 here in Fulton County, and we are delighted to have our secretary here today because we know that our president is interested and committed to the growth of entrepreneurs and small business.
Small Business Administrator Karen Mills talks to the owners about the president's plan to help hardworking small business owners by giving them a tax cut credit. The New York Butcher Shop and Arden's Gardens both have used SBA-backed loans to help start or grow their businesses. And finally, in District 7, youngsters take a field trip to discover how water is treated and stored. Members of the Youth Leadership Academy for Boys took a tour of the Camp Creek Wastewater Treatment Plant in College Park. The outing included a tour around the outside and inside of the facility.
If we didn't do our job, that's what would be in your water. Oh yeah, right, didn't like that.
Preserving water and the environment are just some of the helpful information that the students learned.
You shouldn't put food down the sink because it will clog it up and the water can't flow down after you wash your hands.
The goal of this tour is to raise the awareness of water quality and the vital role that it plays in our everyday life.
The Youth Leadership Academy for Boys is an initiative of the Call to Manhood program sponsored by District 7 Commissioner William Bill Edwards. With this week's District by District coverage, I'm Melissa Lewis.
Thank you very much. And when we come back, a look at some of the services being offered at the new Adamsville Regional Health Center. Stay with us.
You're watching Fulton Today.
Portions of the following segment are part of the Fulton County Common Ground Initiative. Common Ground, the county's comprehensive solution to the problem of health disparities in the community.
Getting up close and personal with the services at the new Adamsville Regional Health Center is the focus of this week's Common Ground Report. The county hosted the first neighborhood orientation session since the grand opening of the center. Citizens were introduced to all of the health, wellness, and social services offered at the center, including primary care and behavioral health services, housing, and employment assistance. Residents were also offered free health screenings.
Well, tonight's event was the first in a series of what we're calling community orientation sessions. We've invited members of the surrounding community who we hope will be utilizing this clinic to come in and learn about the services that we're offering. We also introduced the community to our service philosophy of integrated service delivery.
The program was sponsored by the Fulton Health and Human Services Agency. The county wants those who live in the 17 neighborhoods that make up the Adamsville region to become familiar with what's available at the center, and residents continue to be amazed. To make an appointment at the Adamsville Center or to get information, call 404-613-4215. Fulton employees also contribute to citizens' well-being by giving blood. The American Red Cross sent out an urgent call for blood, and in its second drive of the year, employees readily answered the call. There is an acute shortage of O, A negative, and B negative blood types. Fulton Police Detective Gregory Van Loo summed up the sentiments of those who contributed.
I give blood because it's a simple way of giving something that can give life. You know, it's many of us sign a donor card with our driver's license, and what, we wait till we're dead before we give something. This is a way you can give something. You can give life all the time, and you can give it several times a year, and it's relatively painless. It's a little bit of time out of my life, but that can mean everything to somebody who I don't even know.
The Red Cross team encourages everyone to make a date to donate.
We just had a young lady who was first-time donor, so it's always good to see the first-time donors come and try to take good care of them, keep them satisfied so they are willing to come back and donate again.
The county partners with the Red Cross to hold a blood drive 4 times a year, but you can donate anytime. Go online to redcrossblood.org or call the American Red Cross at 404-876-3302 to find locations. You can also help by becoming a volunteer or even agreeing to host a blood drive. Old ways of cooking, like old habits, die hard. So in addition to distributing fresh food, the county is also teaching citizens how to prepare it. FGTV's Lynn Vaughn has the story. Lynn?
Sonia, one of the things we learned was how to make this delicious corn and black bean salsa and to use blue corn chips rather than the higher in sodium regular corn chips. So the key to good nutrition is monitoring what you eat and eating in moderation.
It just takes a little more time and preparation, but you can do it.
This group of seniors was eager to hear from Georgia State University graduate student Julia Bronx and to taste the low-sodium, low-fat meal she was preparing.
So this one is the no salt added. You see that lovely little red bar of information above there? That's what you want to look for. So you can see the regular corn, this is just regular whole kernel corn, versus no salt added. The no salt added has 10 milligrams in one serving.
Leon Bridges is just the kind of senior the program is designed to reach.
I eat in moderation, some things, but I learned that I'm going to have to kind of cut back on my sodium because I do take blood pressure pills and type 2 diabetic.
Exercise keeps Mr. Bridges from having to take medication for his diabetes. He and the others hope by improving their diets, they can prevent illness and stay active.
Well, I think it's very, very important to keep your blood pressure down because, high blood pressure runs rampant in the African American community. So that's important because according to her, you can use 2,300 milligrams of soda, the average person, but African Americans have to cut theirs back to 1,500 milligrams.
In addition to the salsa and chips, chicken tacos and salad with honey lime or cilantro lime vinaigrette dressings were also on the menu, and cutting down on salt was the recurrent theme.
Well, what I thought was really important is the important when you buy canned goods to rinse them. I've never ever rinsed a canned good. And she said it cuts the sodium at 40%.
Fulton County and the East Point NORC hold a number of healthy living programs. Find a schedule on fultoncountyga.gov. And to check out the recipes we gathered at this workshop, go to youtube.com/Fulton Government TV. I'm Lynn Vaughn, FGTV.
Thank you very much, Lynn. Now, you can reach the East Point NORC. That is the East Point Naturally Occurring Retirement Community at 404-762-2094 if you'd like to sign up for a class. And up next, some young girls are learning some new moves that could save their lives. We'll tell you all about it when we come back.
Watching Fulton Today.
Teenage girls learn safety tactics to protect themselves when in dangerous situations. During a workshop at the OC Library in Johns Creek, the young girls learned ways to defend themselves when facing danger. The session was titled Just Yell Fire, which is what the girls are taught to do to get help no matter what the danger is.
The OC Library decided to have this program because we care about the safety of the teens of our library as well as the children. And we thought this program, which is very well respected, would be helpful in helping our teenage girls learn more about how they could defend themselves.
Just Yell Fire is also a video that was produced by 2 teenagers in 2006. It was created to help give young girls the tools they need to fight back. The library's bookmobile is on the move again. The mobile library visited the North Fulton District 3 office in Johns Creek during the recent grand opening. The bookmobile carries hundreds of popular and useful DVDs, books, and audiobooks to all ages. The bookmobile visits areas where people do not have access to their local branch.
Well, that is our job. Our job is to bring the books and the media to folks who cannot reach us. So that's why we serve mostly seniors who are, wheelchair bound, and the little ones at the Head Start because maybe their parents can't bring them to the library. So I think it's very key to get them access that they don't have otherwise.
Fulton County residents can receive free library cards with proof of residency. Residents may check out up to 25 books, 10 audiobooks, and 5 DVDs at any one time. The Atlanta Fulton Bookmobile makes multiple trips to various communities. For information, call 404-310-9042 or send an email to bookmobile@fultoncountyga.gov. And before we go, our reminder that we'd like to hear from you about the stories and programs here on FGTV. Go to our website to take a survey or email or call us. The number 404-612-8317. The email address is fgtv.feedback@fultoncountyga.gov. You can also follow us on twitter.com/FGTV or friend us on Facebook. Well, that does it for this edition of Fulton Today. I'm Shania Chavis. Thank you for joining us. Join us each week for news around and about Fulton County.